Well, I think one of the things that really does upset older people is these commentators out there saying that older people haven't been affected by the impact of austerity measures, solely because the state pension hasn't been cut since 2008, 2009. In our pre-budget submission this year, and having consulted older people's groups across the country in March and April, we found the very opposite. We found that what older people were really struggling with was the multiple effect of cut after cut after cut across a succession of austerity budgets. The sickest and the poorest of older people really took the brunt, and those who were dependent on the state for key supports have really felt the pain in a very significant way.
180 to 230 euros a week is a small amount of money and a survivable amount of money to live on, is what people get. The problem then is if you hit expenses, or you get on well, or you have other problems or family issues, etc., and the services may not be there to support you, or you may not be able to then pay to sort out the problem you may have. Our calls to a loan have increased 20% last year and 20% the year before. And the calls are very varied, but around 40% of those calls come from housing. People living in poor housing conditions, people with problem with their housing, and people who've been, in some ways, just can't cope with the situations they're in. After that comes where people need care, they need support, or they've got medical issues. As I said, a large percent of older people are very resourceful, they're very well linked in, but there is a percentage, consistently around 10%, 10 to 15% of older people that struggle.
They find that their children who are now in negative equity, both are working, can't afford child welfare, so they naturally turn to the grandparents. And we're hearing more and more stories of grandparents who are now full-time childminders. So from that point of view, in the last couple of years, as a result of austerity, their lifestyles have changed. They also find that they're supporting their children in terms of financial aid, going guarantors for loans, and stuff like that now. And I think a recent report in MABS verified this. And I think a lot of retired people, not only retired guards, now find that they're trying to make up for the problems that were caused by austerity.